It's a celebration of a momentous occasion, 100,000 subscribers for Yellow Productions. I'm Chris, and you have found Yellow Productions. This is a live stream. I am joined over here by Topher and over here by Columbus, and together we make Christopher Columbus. That's what it is, the #1 human and panda traveling duo, or perhaps is that a trio? Well, this is really exciting. I'm so glad you all could join me here today. And so in this video, I'm going to be answering the question people often ask, which is, Chris, how did you get started in this whole YouTube thing anyway? And so what I'll be sharing with you is my journey actually before YouTube, and we'll be watching some never before seen things on YouTube, things before 2008, right? So that real quick timeline is I started doing YouTube videos in 2008. That's when I first started on YouTube, but I've been doing YouTube videos, well, not YouTube videos, but I've been in front of the camera practically my whole life is probably what I would say. And actually, when I was a kid, and a kid maybe being like 3 years old, 5 years old, I don't know, pretty young, my dad would videotape me. He was really into cameras and videos, and we did this show when I was a kid called Christopher's World. That's right, that was my original show, Christopher's World, playing keyboards and guitars and, you know, whatever like a 5 or 7-year-old kid would do in front of a camera. In the 90s, I progressed to do something a little bit more professional, and I actually used to help my dad shoot weddings. I mean, it was probably child labor, but it certainly was something that got me used to operating cameras, holding cameras, understanding microphones, video, lighting, tripods, all that sort of stuff. And then that brings us to today, which I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to come to today, and then I'll swing that Wayback Machine again to today, January 27th, 2019. That's when Yellow Productions passed 100,000 subscribers. It was 7:21 a.m. exactly. I held a contest, and I asked whoever sent me a screenshot closest to 100,000 would win a t-shirt. There were actually 5 people that sent me screenshots of exactly 100,000, and so that was super fantastic, and in fact, they all got t-shirts. And so it was a long road to 100,000 from 2008 to 2019. If you do the math, that is a little over 10 years, but a lot of that growth came in the last 3 because I celebrated my 10,000 subscriber celebration back in July 10th, 2016. That was my 10,000 subscriber celebration video. So it's pretty fantastic, and as some other people have said, now on the road to 250,000, on the road to 1 million. I will say my next celebration is going to be at the 200,000 milestone, because at 200,000, well, I've got a whole nother idea for that celebration video, which is going to be from the time I started on YouTube up to now, kind of giving you a chronology of what went through from then. But that's not what we're talking about in this video. In this video, we're talking about what led me up to YouTube. And so I've got some videos that I'm going to show you. We'll talk about it. Again, these are never before seen. I'll be giving away another Yellow Productions t-shirt for someone to answer one of my questions later. So definitely make sure you're paying attention, because as is typical, my question will be something that comes out of this video that if you are watching and you remember, then you will win the t-shirt. And so I'd like to thank everybody who is on the live stream. Certainly to Nick Felsan, you, Anita, Cody, Emily, Brandon, Prince City, and Cody. All right, thank you very much all for joining in. So, the first video I want to play here, this was a short video that I created in 1999. And so in 1999, I was just playing around with some stuff, and people often ask things like, Chris, where did the name Yellow Productions come from? Was it always Yellow Productions? And this is something I was just playing around with some graphical software and doing some intros to some different videos, because I was actually making videos of stuff before YouTube that I'd share with just friends and family. I'd make them into MPEGs, I'd post them up on my website, and so let's take a look at one of my early intros. Wow, now that was some really impressive stuff, wasn't it? And so you can see, actually, an initial name I was playing with back then was Bozo Video or Bozo Productions. I've never been like the most super serious person in the world, and so I'm totally fine making fun of myself. And I'm also totally fine sharing with you guys some of these videos that frankly are not very polished, because since they were intended for friends and family, they weren't things that I was like, oh, millions of people are going to see this. And actually, as I've been putting them on YouTube, then millions of people have seen some things, which is pretty amazing. And I always love when people leave comments on some of my videos and they're like, you totally could have done this better, like this, or this, or this. And one of those videos is the worst cheap hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. People are like, why didn't you show the inside of the hotel rooms? And I'm like, because I did not think 1.5 million people would watch this video. Frankly, that is why. If I did, I might have tried a little bit more. Nancy asks, what's a thumbnail? What is a thumbnail? That's the picture like when you click on one of my videos, you click on the thumbnail. And if you're curious, the thumbnail for this video where I'm doing the hands up, that is in Kyushu, Japan, in Mount Aso. And if you want to see more of that, if you just search like Kyushu Yellow Productions, there's a video I have about our 5 or 7 days that we did in Kyushu. And Andrea G316 says they're proud to have been following you for several years now. Excellent. Thank you very much. I am happy that you've been watching for so long. And Dorit says, congratulations, congrats. So, and as we go through these videos, I've got 7 videos in total that I'm going to share with you back from the archives. And so I'll also be curious, what do you think? What's your favorite one? So what I'll do for number 2 here, the second video I'm going to share with you is of me playing Dance Dance Revolution. Dance Dance Revolution. It's that silly arcade game, and some of the early videos I would shoot, my dad would come with me, and we would shoot videos of me playing Dance Dance Revolution, because I am, in fact, a huge dork, but I love Dance Dance Revolution, and actually I would attribute Dance Dance Revolution and surfing and boogie boarding as my exercise plan in the 2000s that actually I lost quite a bit of weight. So you'll see in this next video my cheeks and everything is probably a little bit puffier. So here we go. This one is 3 minutes long, so we'll check this out.
Here we are again in Mission Beach, Belmont Park at the Family Fun Arcade. Just playing some games of Dance Dance Revolution. It's about 10 at night exactly, August 7th. Having some fun down here. We have our tokens and we're ready to play.
So, a question you might be asking yourself right now is, Chris, do you know that girl? Actually, I have no idea who this girl is. She was just someone else that wanted to play at the time. But Dance Dance Revolution is one of those things that looks much better when 2 people are playing it, because it looks like you were really coordinated. So, whenever I tell people I play Dance Dance Revolution, they always ask, are you good at it? And so, you can tell me. I don't know. I'd be happy to challenge you guys to a dance-off. Wow, that stopped playing the video.
docs heard I was playing. They heard I was tired. They're ready to rehydrate me. Give me my IV. Alrighty, that's it. Till next time. Peace.
Okay, so there we go. That was one of my first videos that I have an archive actually on my computer. That was that double pad Dance Dance Revolution. So there was double pad, me playing double pad, the other girl, and Kirk says, was this before you were married? Yes, this video was shot absolutely well before I was married. Let's see. Jamie says he loves Mission Beach, great memories. Brandon says, what a transformation for your videos. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was probably not the best edited or all those sorts of things, though I'll say for 2003, you're also looking at video quality that, frankly, the video quality was not as good in 2003. I mean, cameras, lights, sound, all those things have improved quite a bit. Doritz says, your videos are an excellent resource for planning out bucket list. Great job. Thank you very much, Doritz. I appreciate it. I'm just curious, any of you out there play Dance Dance Revolution? If you'd like to go to a dance-off, that'd be kind of fun. All right, let's go to, we'll talk about number 3. So the third video that I want to share with you guys, when I mentioned that my first videos were doing Dance Dance Revolution or surfing or bodyboarding, this is one of bodyboarding, but related to surfing. So living in San Diego, you know, when I was younger, I never surfed. But then when I went to college here, I'd ask people like, hey, why'd you come to San Diego for university? And people would say to me, like the international students, it was never for the academics. It would be like, Chris, I came to San Diego to learn how to surf, like people from Sweden and people from the UK. And I'm like, I have to learn how to surf. I should do that. I've grown up in San Diego. So I took up surfing, and eventually, actually, I wiped out and tore my rotator cuff, which then makes it hard to paddle. So then I took up bodyboarding, and so you may go bodyboarding for like a casual perspective, which is just like a board and jump on it. But then the slightly more advanced is if you wear fins and have webbed gloves and catch the wave. So here we'll go. 2 minutes of bodyboarding. The waves weren't real big this day, but still kind of fun. So here we go.
It's end of September here, 2003. Just finished another day down in Mission Beach. All of our tourists have gone home for the summer. It's just us crazies in the full wetsuits out here in the water. Nice cool 64 degrees and extreme low tide today. Minus 0.2 low tide. And it's all force.
All right, well, there we go. Bodyboarding for 2003. Joe F. says the water looks cold. The water was pretty cold. Bodyboarding in the winter in San Diego probably not really that warm. Tempier Kids says, yeah, the wetsuit isn't yellow. And actually, 2003, I hadn't really come up with the whole Yellow Productions theme or all that stuff, right? You'll see I'm not wearing a yellow shirt. I don't have a yellow wetsuit. I think that one I had a blue boogie board. I do have a yellow one, too. Brandon Torres says, cowabunga, dude. Cowabunga, absolutely. Roan Zone joining in the live stream. He says, unfortunately, he has 2 left feet. So I guess, Roan, you and I won't be doing any Dance Dance Revolution dance-offs. Roan, if you watched my video on the Smorgasbord LA a couple weeks ago, he was in that. I'm totally looking forward to our collaboration we're going to do about Venice Beach coming up. So that is pretty exciting. Brain is bored asks, do you still go hit the waves? Not as often as I want to. I probably play more Dance Dance Revolution than I hit the waves. Probably my exercise of choice now is bicycling. I like to bicycle. I ride a mountain bike, though I ride it on like city streets and ride it pretty slowly, so I'm not going over any mountains. Dorit says, he's a klutz, no thanks to surfing. That's actually one of the things I like about bodyboarding as opposed to surfing, and sometimes they call bodyboarding sponging. They call it sponging because, well, it's like a sponge, right? It's foam, and so like if it hits you, you know, you can't get hurt all that much. And that's actually one of the things I like about bodyboarding in San Diego as opposed to Hawaii. I like the sand bottom, so if you fall off, you don't get hurt too much. Whereas the sand bottom in Hawaii, it's not a sand bottom, it's coral, and so that hurts quite a bit. Nancy Bogart says, and how'd you get so skinny? Yeah, so I say that was totally my surfing and Dance Dance Revolution workout plan. I would probably, back in the mid-2000s, I would go surf 3-4 times a week. I'd probably play Dance Dance Revolution 5 times a week for about an hour a day, and so that's how you do it. And people, you know, if you know, I eat In-N-Out Burger quite a bit. And so I'll also say In-N-Out Burger is part of my health plan as well. I like the burgers, as you can see by the burgers that are back here, especially this one that looks kind of curious with those eyes back there. Kevin asks, do you recommend San Diego for surfing or Huntington Beach? I recommend San Diego. I think San Diego has more varied surf spots, and so there can be different places, different parts of the year that just pick up pretty much every different swell. So if you like surfing, definitely come to San Diego. All right, so now the 4th video. The other thing I love to do was make videos about Halloween. And the neighborhood that I sort of grew up in San Diego, Halloween, super big thing. And my dad's house, he gets like hundreds of trick-or-treaters every year. You'll actually, if you're curious what my dad looks like, you'll see him in this video. And so this one is 5 minutes long. This one is a collection of Halloween videos from 2003 and 2004. The first video I actually shot using, and all those other ones were shot using my dad's cameras. And then in 2004 is when I bought my own camera, and I started shooting on mini DV tapes. Mini DV. It was a small format, these small tapes. But I will tell you, editing footage back then really sucked because you had to like connect the camera to the computer and basically play the video off the camera, and the computer would record it, but it would like drop frames, and you'd have to capture it again, and it was such a hassle. You know, I'll say when I finally got my first video camera that actually had memory cards instead of tapes, I was rejoicing because simply copying video files off a video camera is so much better than recording to tapes. I'll go to a few questions and then I'll roll the video. Helen asks if I've had Jollibee. Not for the burgers, but I like the Halo Halo, the dessert at Jollibee. Jollibee is like a Filipino fast food chain. Kirk asks if YouTube told me when they're going to send you the golden subscribe plaque. Yet for 100,000 subscribers, it's a silver subscribe plaque, and they said it'll be in about 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll definitely do a live unboxing once I get that plaque, because you guys deserve that as well as I do, because I couldn't have gotten it, frankly, without such great fans and all of you guys watching. Nancy Bogart says, how did you save the travel all over, please? Nancy, that is a great question. And you know, a video I just put out last week was a frequently asked questions video where I answer 20 frequently asked questions. And that one, how do I afford to travel so much, is one of those frequently asked questions. So check it out on my channel after this video. You'll see frequently asked questions. It's one of those in there. And we got a few people going to Hawaii. Vinny says, the In-N-Out Hollywood is always very crowded. I was there yesterday. Vinny, the In-N-Out Burger in Hollywood on Sunset and Vine, I think is where that one is actually the busiest In-N-Out Burger of all In-N-Out Burgers. And there was a question of what I'm drinking today, and yes, I am drinking iced tea. You'll know I'm an iced tea fanatic. All right, so here we're gonna go with Halloween 2003 and 4. 5 minutes. I'll join in and come in the corner here in a little bit to provide some insight as we go through. Happy Halloween 2003. It's October 31st. That's Halloween at 7:15 p.m. We're just giving out some candy here to the trick-or-treaters. Got our nice dum-dum pops, of course. And then, you know, in the pocket we also have the Hershey's with almonds for the very special trick-or-treaters. It's going on strong. We've had a big crowd of people so far. I'd say probably maybe 150 since I've been here, which is about a half hour. And here's a trick-or-treater now.
Are these poison?
Wow, that was it right there. The Halloween master himself. That's my dad, who sometimes you'll see on here as Electric Rick. Okay, I'm taking you back to the video.
Oh, it's electrifying for me to be out and about on Halloween, and this year is no exception. It is always fun to put on the stovepipe hat and the light and just go out.
Do you see the resemblance?
To people I don't know.
Oh, I get on camera, yeah! Oh, yeah.
So the costume you're looking at right there, LEDs, 20 LEDs on it, 20 LEDs on the shirt, 20 LEDs on the collar, was actually made by someone who makes costumes for Burning Man. Often my Halloween costume every year, because I spent about $300 on that shirt. So I want to make sure I get my money's worth. All right, we'll go back to that now.
Trick or treat. Hey, how about a wreck?
Did I scare you? No.
No.
Or I didn't have time to make one, so I just decided, hey, I'll be a trucker. You'll be a trucker? Yeah. I love that home. Let's come back.
Just look at your eyelashes. You like them. Let's see.
Did I scare you? How about now? Did I scare you then? Scare you? How about now?
All right, there we go. Halloween 2003 and 2004. There was a question, and OC Girl answered it, which was Kirk asks, let's see if I can bring this question up. Kirk says, was the Halloween video before or after OC Girl? And OC Girl answered and says, yes, she was there in 2004, and I think we just started dating. She was right, and I thought this guy was weird with his light-up shirt. She's probably right. He was weird, and she says, I wore the shirt to work too. I did, because as I said, I spent like $300 on this shirt, so of course I'm going to wear it. So that's how you know we're a match made in heaven, because she's like, yeah, this guy, yeah. This crazy guy, he's marriage material. I asked people, hey, let me know what video you think is best as this goes. Brandon says he really loves the 2000s Halloween is the best. Excellent. I appreciate it. Let's see. Doritz says, what country have you not been to yet? I've not been to a lot of countries, frankly. I think I've been to maybe 30, 35 countries. There's still a lot I haven't been to. Let's see. Colin just joined in from South Australia. I've been to Australia, one of the places I've been, but I've not been to Mount Gambier. Joe says Halloween is celebrated in Japan for a full week. That's very cool. All right. And now let's talk about video number 5. All right, so since people asked and said, hey, was this before or after you met OC Girl? Yeah, she was not there for Halloween 2003, though she was there for Halloween 2004. So now the video that I'm going to show you guys, this is video number 5 of 7, is a trip that OC Girl and I took to Japan. This was our first international trip together. It was my first time in Japan, you know, we went to Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo, and because I'd never been to Japan before, I was convinced I was gonna starve, and so I brought like a box of power bars that OC Girl mocked me mercilessly about, because he's like, why are you bringing all these power bars? And I'm like, because I'm gonna starve. It's like, the food, is it good? I did not eat any of those power bars, frankly, and I mock myself now for bringing those power bars. Some things you're gonna see in this video, you'll see that I wasn't using a microphone, and so if it's hard to hear me, it's because I don't have that microphone that I usually clip to my bag, and also you'll see lots of walking scenes. You're also gonna see music that, I can't use this music really anymore on YouTube, because some of it's like copywritten music, and I had to edit out some of this video because I used some more like just other people's songs that I would download, and then of course I figured out that you're not really supposed to do that. So actually on a couple of the other videos you saw Halloween and surfing, I replaced the songs that I had in there with some songs that I use from Killer Tracks, which is this like royalty-free song website that I download stuff from. So let's check out Japan 2005, 7 minutes. I'll pop in with some comments as we go through here. Dorit says, what country is the top of your to-do list? Well, Japan is always one that we love to go to. So here we go, Japan 2005.
So we're outside the station now, and we found our hotel. It's the blue lights right behind my head. This is the Toyoko Inn. So we made it to the Toyoko Inn, and let's go check in and see what our room looks like. Let's go. So you're inside. I'm glad you could make it.
This sort of third of the room is my part of the room. You can See, there's a nice twin bed. And we're going to the Osaka Castle Palace big cool thing. And let's see how cool it is. Alright, so here we are. We've just... Hey, wasn't that a cool transition? By the way, Toyoko Inn, it's a hotel chain that I often recommend for people traveling to Japan because the rooms are clean, they're efficient, it's inexpensive. But you know, that was like the first and last time I stayed at Toyoko Inn. I like a little bit more space, but OC Girl and I always say we should go back and stay again, frankly, just so we can make an updated video review, because that's about all the footage I have from Toyoko Inn. All right, rejoin the video. Past the first moat, as any good castle should have, there's a second moat, and then there's the castle in the background. One thing you do a lot of in Japan is walking, and my feet are sore. So this place, it's in Hakone. Every time I've been here, the weather has been awful. Alright, so I've just been blown into Tokyo. We're here in Shinjuku Station, which is the large... By the way, OC Girl asked if anyone knows the song, and Lulu Star says, what song is playing for this video? Well, if you do know the song, the first Yellow Productions t-shirt is going to go to the person that names what song was just playing right there. And OC Girl is going to tell me if you got it right. Just train subway station in the world. The Osaka Loop train, which looks like it was a train built in like the year 1600, and there was no air conditioning, only a fan inside, so hopefully this one will be a little nicer. The smallest train ever. One of the things I love about Japan are absolutely the trains, hence the train segment. By the way, this music you hear playing right here, it's a band called Drop Army. Probably one of the best street performances I've ever seen. I mean, they brought the whole drum kit, guitar, and everything. So I just wanted to share that. Let's go back in. Our hotel room was also very hot,
there was a little sign with an apology saying, sorry, we have no air conditioning. You're going to be baked chicken by the time you leave. So here we have the Dinky Donut maker, except they're made of tofu. So I just got 8 of the Mr. Donut tofu soy milk donuts. Let's see how they are. Very donut. So here we are at the Kiyomizu Terra Temple. I see some incense. I want to smell it.
This is another one of those classic walking scenes. You can tell I love the walking scenes. Boy, look like I'm walking pretty fast, don't I?
Phew. That's how I get my exercise in Japan. Going to the temples and back. So, I got a Japanese symbol that's this one, which I assume relates to a number.
85.
85. Because I know Japanese, and my voice sometimes sounds awfully girlish. And my lips don't move when I speak. So I'm looking for 85 now. And I'm waiting for some help to 85. Someone tells me that 85 is, what's that other hand? 85 is here. 85 is this one. And I have, number 85 is actually the best fortune. Yeah. Konnichiwa.
So there we go, Japan 2005. And there was a comment that said, I didn't know you were making videos for this long. Yes, I've been making videos for quite a long time. And I asked a question for a shirt. And let's see, we did have one correct answer for the shirt. Now, the only thing is, can I find it? Yes. Ricky wins again. Ricky won a shirt. Actually, he won the socks previously. So, Ricky, now you win a shirt. Let me know what size shirt you want. Small, medium, extra large, up to 3XL. I'll send you that too. Ricky's going to have the full set of Yellow Productions clothing pretty soon. That was the theme from Doraemon, a very popular Japanese cartoon character. And Kohana Ohana noticed that one of the shots I did was in front of the Unisan. That's very good. That was in Hakone. It's kind of like an onsen kind of place. Lulu Star liked the band, which was Drop Army. They were pretty cool. And Lulu Star says, I like Japanese metal. Metal in my anime, cardio, all that walking revolution exercise. Lulu asking a lot of questions and comments. I love it, Lulu. Lulu says, how many trips have you taken to Japan? Oh, a lot. I don't know. 8, 10, something like that. We seem to go to Japan quite a bit. I've been there quite a bit of time. Jeff asks, will you be in Vegas this week? I will not be in Vegas this week. I guess because my Vegas videos are really popular. A lot of people think I live in Vegas. Don't live in Vegas, live in Southern California. So nope, I won't be there. Dorit says, Japan looks like a blast. It is one of my favorite countries to visit. Roan Zone congratulates Ricky for winning the shirt and socks. The Musical Dork asks, has travel changed you in the 13 plus years of international travel? I would say it's changed me quite a bit, actually. And I think before I started traveling internationally, I don't know if I want to say that I was probably typical American's not the right answer because I'm clearly not typical since I travel around with a panda and things like that. But I will say, since I've been traveling around the world, I definitely like to say that I've expanded to have a world view. I really appreciate more things now, and not just things here in the US, but things around the world because I've seen more things around the world. I can appreciate what I have, but I can also appreciate what other people have, right? And I often find a mindset of people who say don't travel all that much. Like an American mindset is often things like the subway in New York City is great. And it's like, you know what? The subway in New York City sucks. You should go to some place that actually has a clean and efficient train system. Now, I'm not saying getting packed in the trains in Japan is all that fantastic, but their train system is far superior to anything we have in the US. James Brady says, I love Japan, lived in Yokosuka. Very cool, James. I have a video review of the Hotel New Yokosuka, which you might be familiar with. Roan Zone asks, what's our next overseas adventure? We've not really planned it. We're thinking of going someplace in the summer, and so that means we don't like hot places. So I don't know, like Scotland, Iceland, Finland. I'm curious, for those of you who are out there, like what's a place you would go in July or August that is not hot? Because we don't love hot. Kirk says, what foreign country would you retire in? I mean, I like Japan. I like Singapore too. Portugal's pretty neat. So those are just a set of a few different things. Obviously, OC Girl is from Taiwan, so that might be one place too. Ben is on Facebook and says, congratulations on 100,000 subscribers. Thanks, Ben, for joining in. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that Kohana Hana agrees with me that the New York subway is a nightmare. Yes, it is. Let's see, Mariza says, why isn't OC Girl seen in videos as much? She gives a tongue-in-cheek answer where she says, I'm not as charming as Chris. I think OC Girl is pretty charming, but she definitely prefers to be a behind-the-camera kind of person. And Lulu, you're right, Norway is a great place. But actually, video number 7 I'm going to show you is from Norway, so that's a great suggestion. Rainy Stoner says, come to Vancouver. It is never too hot. All right, excellent. And Raider says, have you ever done a video from Mexico? One, we went to Cabo San Lucas for our honeymoon, so we have a couple videos on Cabo San Lucas. Not my most fabulous production ever, because I was pretty early in these productions. OC Girl, you have fans out there. You must know. Look at that. Ben Down says OC Girl is the best. It is. Acer says, San Diego in March, would that be a good time? Sure. I mean, it's not super warm, but like if you want to go in the water in San Diego, then probably the best month is like September. That's when we have the warmest ocean temperatures. All right, so let me go on to video number 6. This is another never before seen video to YouTube. This is of Venice, Italy in 2006. You'll see my style's changed a little bit. You'll see I'm wearing yellow. It's a yellow jacket. This one's more informative too, as I've realized like people actually started watching my videos. This is still pre-YouTube. Didn't start YouTube till 2008. So here we go with Venice. This one is 7 minutes long also.
Grazie. Welcome to Venice, November 3rd, 2006. We flew into the Marco Polo airport, and after we got off from the airport, we took the water bus, and here we are, Venice proper. Let's go see what excitement is in store for us in the town. So here we are, Piazza San Marco, which is what I consider the land of pigeons. Venice is home to the world's fattest pigeons. This is pigeon feeding land, and these pigeons, they do nothing but hang out here and eat. And I wonder how they'd be to eat for us. Venice is sinking, Venice is sinking. When they say Venice is sinking, you can see here it's not a high tide or anything like that, and the water laps up and is actually coming up on the sidewalks. You can imagine when it rains, it's wet everywhere. So the water actually comes up out of the manhole. These are the raised sidewalks that they just keep in strategic places around the city. Raise the sidewalk whenever the water comes up. One of the good things, I suppose, about the flooding of the plaza is that it does clean off all the bird poop every once in a while. So even the docks in Venice are sinking. As you can see, the dock behind me, every time the water comes, it flushes up through the dock. In Venice, the most original form of transportation is the gondola, which we came to find out is 80 euro for 40 minutes, over $100. A cheaper form of gondola is the traghetto, which is the gondola which takes you from this side of the canal to that side of the canal, all for a price of 50 cents. In these narrow Venice streets, you can't gain much weight, otherwise nobody can walk by you. We're here at a major canal intersection. As you can see, there's a couple bridges behind me, that way or maybe that way, and bridges, and they go into the center of the canal, and from the center of the canal there's more bridges, and they go out. The Rialto produce markets. This is where you come to buy your fruit and your veggies and your meats. We have arrived in Murano at the end of a very perilous journey. After we finally got to Murano, after 20 minutes, we got on the bus, and at the end of the bus stop, there's this guy, and he's like, "Oh, glass factory, this way, glass factory, glass factory." So we run and follow him to the glass factory, only to find ourselves on the wrong side of the island, and only to come to find that there's about 500 glass factories on this small island. Venice is the city of churches. We are in front of the Santa Maria Salute, which is the largest Baroque church in all of Venice. It is at one of the points of Venice. To get here, we crossed over the Accademia Bridge, which is one of two bridges to cross the Grand Canal. And from here, you can also see Piazza San Marco, which is where we landed on our boat from the Marco Polo Airport. This is the largest Gothic church in Venice.
By the way, speaking of the Marco Polo Airport, does anybody know that great joke? Marco!
So we're outside the we're outside the church of... Wait, we're outside the hospital. That is the hospital in Venice. When they got running water and replaced the wells, they replaced them with fountains, and you can even see the water's drinkable. Well, what should we do next? Well. All's well that ends well.
When the moon hits.
There we go, Venice, Italy. And Joe F., yes, he knew the answer to that Marco joke. Joe F., you win a Yellow Productions t-shirt as well. Send me a message on Facebook, what address you want me to send it to and what size, or you can send me an email to chris@yellow.net with two W's, YELLOWW.net, chris@yellow.net, or a Facebook message, and I will send you a t-shirt, Joe. All right, so as you can see, that was more informative, but if you look at like editing idiosyncrasies, stuff like The audio levels weren't great. The cuts weren't very good. But I was certainly having fun as I'm, flapping off that way. And I definitely enjoyed those pigeons there in the square in Venice. And Brandon said, well, that was a nice pun. Yes, and as you can see, just not being that serious. But there's also that joke about when somebody says, well, then you can respond and say, that is a deep subject. And they look at you and you're like, the well. It's a deep subject because wells are deep. All right, so what's the 7th video that I'm going to show you? The 7th video that I'm going to show you, well, this one, it's actually the first video that I put up on YouTube. And so this one is from August 2008. This is when I first joined YouTube. First YouTube video ever. This one is Norway in a nutshell. There was a comment about what country we should go to when it was cold. We went to Norway in the summer because, well, in August, that's a great place to go because Norway is cold. There's fjords and things like that. This one is the first Yellow Productions branded video that I did. It's the one that has the first intro, and with my first YouTube video, this was the first appearance of Topher right there was in this video. Let me go to a few questions before I hop on that. Lulu Star asks if we did the gondola ride. Yeah, we did the traghetto. We did the €1 gondola ride. OC Girl could probably make some comment about how I'm cheap. Soo Yun says, how was your trip in South Korea? It was pretty awesome. We really enjoyed it. And I joke that it's a kimchi world tour. And this is a funny thing about how travel has changed me. And I might have said this in one of my Korea videos, but the first time I had kimchi, I was not too fond of it. And OC Girl and I have this running joke in our relationship that whenever we go eat at a Korean restaurant, she'll make some comment about how I didn't think you like kimchi, yet I'll be asking for it to be refilled and refilled. And I'll never admit that I like kimchi because OC Girl is proud of the fact that through eating enough Korean food, I eat more kimchi and I ask for more, but I have to toe the line and be careful about whether I say I like it or not. Ricky asks a great question, which is, how many fans have you met in person by chance? Actually, surprising number. It seems like OC Girl and I, when we're walking around many weekends now, somebody will come up and say, hey, I saw your videos. When we were at Disneyland this past weekend, there was a guy by the name of Jeff who came up and said, hi, Jeff, if you're watching, hi back. We were like CookieCon, 3 people came up to me in Vegas. People always spot me. It's really interesting. I mean, it's humbling and it's really cool, frankly. So I also wonder, of the people who come up and say hi, there's must be another order of magnitude of people who don't come up and see anything. So now here's a question for you guys that I'm curious about related to meeting fans. So people have said, Chris, you should do a meetup. So I am curious if I were to do a meetup, like an in-person meetup on a Saturday in Anaheim at downtown Disneyland, how many of you would actually be interested in coming? I'm sort of thinking like a lunchtime meetup for a couple hours. I'm not sure because I don't want to be the only person sitting at a downtown Disney restaurant by myself. But I guess maybe the reason why I'm thinking downtown Disney is that if nobody shows up after a half hour, well, then I can just go into the theme park and have some fun. So I'm curious if you would be interested in an in-person meetup in Anaheim at downtown Disney on a Saturday afternoon lunchtime. Let me know, and if enough people say they're interested, then we'll figure out how we do that. All right, so let's go ahead and watch Norway in a nutshell. Yellow Productions presents Norway in a nutshell, June 30th to July 3rd, 2008.
Welcome to Pro of Scandinavia.
So, as Topher said, welcome to the Pearl of Scandinavia, and we're on our way to Oslo, Norway on the DFDS cruise ship from Copenhagen. 16 hours, and we'll be in another country. Welcome to
Norway.
This building, the Oslo Opera House, has Braille on it. And the Braille says, Norway is very expensive. A Big Mac meal at McDonald's in Norway, $14. Ah, we're poor.
Here in Norway, we'll be meeting a lot of my friends, such as Charles and my cousins, polar bears. So you may think that Norwegians are all blonde with blue eyes. In reality, 30% of the people living in Norway today are new immigrants.
And a majority of those immigrants in Oslo live in a neighborhood called Groenland, which is right behind the Radisson Hotel. Groenland is about the only place in Oslo that you can get cheap eats. We snacked on some excellent cheap Indian curry, which is much better than herring.
Welcome to the Holmenkollen ski jump. This was the site of the Olympics and the 2011 ski jump championships. You ready to go down?
Okay, I'm ready to jump. Where's the snow?
That was fun. Norwegians really enjoy the park life. Across Norway, there's many parks. Behind me is a public fountain that is reminiscent of something that might be in front of a hotel in Las Vegas. But here, it's in a park. Let's sit around and enjoy. One of the things that Norway is famous for are trolls. Trolls with big noses. Bigger than mine. We're comparing. And now we'll bring you Norway in a nutshell, in which we take a train to a boat to a train to a bus, and we arrive on the other side of Norway in just a little under 12 hours. Should be a fun journey.
For the first couple hours leaving Stockholm, we're treated to some pretty green scenery. But then as we get up higher elevations, we're treated to something even more breathtaking. The train stops at Finns to take pictures and allow people to smoke.
This is Finns. It's the highest point on the Norway in a Nutshell tour, 1,330 meters above sea level. It's so cold here year-round that even in July, the lake is still iced over. It's amazing.
Another hour goes by on the train before arriving at Myrdal.
And now we transfer from the main railway to the Flam Railway, which is a cogwheel train that goes down in 45 minutes, 3,000 feet.
Due to the steep incline of the Flam Railway, the train moves quite slowly. In fact, the sign that indicates which track the train leaves on has a snail to indicate that this is the snail train. For emergency reasons, the train has 5 separate braking systems to ensure that the train can stop.
Photo stop at the waterfall.
Along the Flam Railway is a waterfall that the train stops at that you can get out and take pictures of. Getting kind of wet here. There's a legend that a siren enchants men, and there she is.
We continue our journey on the train for another 20 minutes before arriving at Flam.
And the next part of our journey is on a fjord cruise through the Sonja Fjord. which was a canyon carved by glaciers millions of years ago. So it's really deep and the canyons are really steep. Great day for cruising out here on the fjords. Well, that was a fun cruise. We're cruise maniacs. But the next part of our tour is going to be the most fun, which is the hour and 20-minute scenic bus ride. I'm feeling queasy already.
Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. And another comes on, and another comes on. Another one rides the bus.
And this brings us to the final leg of our trip, a 90-minute train from Voss to Bergen.
And our last and final destination on our Norway in a Nutshell tour is Bergen, Norway's second largest city,
And is on the UNESCO World Heritage List for the harbor, Briggen. This row of wooden buildings dates back to the year 1030 and used to be the administrative center of the harbor, but is now really more of a tourist destination and is home to restaurants, cafes, and gift shops, such as the Moose Shop.
and as the sun sets at 10:30 at night, so concludes our trip to Scandinavia. Good night.
All right, well, there you go. That is your video history of Yellow Productions before YouTube. How it all started beginning in the 80s when I was just a young'un, starting with some stuff with my dad, all the way up to the first YouTube video. So now the question for the last shirt, and you'll know this if you were on the live stream at the beginning. When I was a young'un, 3, 5, 7 years old, what was the name of the first show that I did when I was that young? I mentioned it earlier, so if you know the name of my first show, then you will win a t-shirt. Lulu Star says, I love Weird Al, I've talked about that, but I must really love Quad City DJs too. I do like Quad City DJs as well. A lot of you said you like the beard, so I'll see, maybe I'll grow that out in a future thing. A number of people said that they were interested in the meetup, so we'll see if we can do something like that, because it looks like there's more than just a few people, so there were some people that said the name of the show, and you all are close. Andrea, Brandon, F.A., Allison, you guys are close but not exact. So if there's someone that gets the exact one, Rainey, you're close too, but not exactly. And Ricky says Panda, it's not Panda. Joe F. Bozo, that was the first kind of like intro I did, but wasn't the name of the first shows. Kirk, I think he just thinks he wins because he says he's a size XL. But Kirk, did you say something? Did you say a name? I missed something. He just thinks he's gonna win, apparently. Acer says, Rainbow Drive-In Hawaii, you talked me into it and it was awesome. That's really great to hear, Acer. So people often ask, well, hey, when's the next live stream gonna be? Well, I'll be out and about for a few weeks, so it'll be a few weeks. Follow me on Facebook, and if you follow me on Facebook, then you'll know when the next live stream is going to be. Definitely the next celebration is going to be at 200,000 subscribers, but definitely 100,000 is so humbling. It's so awesome. Many people say this is every YouTuber's dream, and so it absolutely is. Like 100,000 is one of those. You know you made it because that's when YouTube sends you that plaque. And by the way, Ricky is on a roll because Ricky got the right answer about the first show Ricky, you can get 2 shirts. One for you, one for a friend. Ricky said Christopher's World. That was the name of the right show. So, all right. And Andrea got it too, but Andrea was definitely a little bit later than Ricky. All right, Ricky, look at that right there. Very good. All right, so thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you for participating. I know many of you share Yellow Productions with your friends. Share my videos on Facebook. Tell them, hey, watch this. I appreciate all that too. I appreciate all of you that come up in person, and so it's fantastic. I won't say goodbye because, as usual, I will see you in the next video.